my goal is to like not have to like really chop off anything.
Happy holidays.
Happy fucking holidays for all you Christians. Oh, I guess.
Wow.
I guess and all you, everybody else's. Do Scientologists cuss?
I don't know.
Tom Cruise for sure.
I've never met one. Well, yeah, he does in movies.
Have you seen his thing where he was flipping out because they were violating
yeah.
COVID protocols?
I mean, you know what?
Don't ever.
Everyone's like trying to make it a thing where he's being an elitist, but it's also like there's so many people employed by him.
Yeah.
And that's like people will be sent home.
Yeah.
And production halts and they lose their job.
Yeah.
I actually side with him on that one.
No.
I
completely get it. I mean, for the most part, I think, for me personally, I don't mind wearing a mask. It's kind of like not. It's
a non-issue for me.
It's not a big deal.
I hate it.
It's kind of like wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
I don't feel like my rights are being oppressed.
No, I don't feel
they want
that
me
way
to wear a seatbelt. But some people do. But I mean,
I
some
think it
things
depends
like
on the mask. I have a mask that I got on Etsy during the beginning of the pandemic, and it's like a Rorschach. Have you seen Watchmen?
Yeah.
It's a Rorschach mask and I have it in my car. It's
wait, the silver see-through one?
No,
or the
no,
one
no,
with
no,
the
no,
ink
no.
blot.
That's the TV
That's
series.
a different guy. That's a different guy.
I'll tell you something funny about that too. So in the movie, Rorschach has a mask and ink blot moves, right?
Yep.
So I have a coronavirus mask that has temperature sensitive ink, and when you breathe out and it's warm, it disappears, and when you breathe in, it's cold and it gets dark.
Dang, that's cool.
It's the effect is so good. Anyway, so I have one of those, and I hate it. I cannot breathe through it. It's just garbage. So I got I usually wear the disposables. That you get at the grocery store because I can actually function with those.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I got that mask, and one of my friends pointed out to me because I was a fan of the movie, and the series is great.
Yeah, I did. I watched it. Yeah,
it's so good. It's one of my favorite
it was
DC
it was
comic
free
series.
on Hulu for a little bit.
Was it?
So that's how I ended up watching it.
Yeah. My sister has HBO Max, so I just hopped onto her account, and oh man, the series is so good. But my friend pointed out to me, he's like, well, in the series, everyone that wears Rorschach masks, those are the racists. And so then I got not in the
yeah. Okay.
Because Rorschach is viewed as like kind of like their
spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Obvious. Well, not obviously. Listen, the Watchmen series has been out for a year now, and the movie's been out for over a decade, so I don't feel bad.
Yeah. When the movie came out, it was like my favorite thing I saw.
It was so good. The trailer too.
Joker was my favorite guy on there.
Joker?
Comedian. Is that his name?
Yeah. Oh, and shortly after the movie came out, I bought the omnibus comic and read through it. It was good. The thing about that movie is it's really close to the comic, except for a couple of major plot points at the end. But it's really close. As a matter of fact, the director's cut, like that final big long version director's cut, is so close to the comic, like except for one thing at the end. So, but anyway, so he pointed out to me that in the TV series, the ones who wear the Rorschach masks are racist. So now I feel really self-conscious wearing it. So I'm like, no. Like I want to explain to everyone, no. The movie, not the series. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that movie. I saw a clip from it on TikTok recently, where Rorschach's
about the movie.
In the movie, yeah, where Rorschach goes, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me in the jail cell.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. But yeah.
And I guess speaking of protective clothing. No. I don't know. I was trying to make a segue into temple garments. So this time,
my temple garments don't have ink blots that move on them.
Oh, man. So, yeah. I don't know how to get into that, but I guess
so I have something that pertains to this.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
We're not running video because we haven't figured that out.
Yeah, my GoPro died last time.
I have some sparkling water for you. It's cherry lime. But hold on one second.
Okay,
I have two. One for you, one for
he's
me.
rummaging
Yeah, hold on.
in a bag behind him, and he's
So here's the cozy
straining.
for it. There's
Oh, it
your
comes
cozy.
with a koozie. Oh,
There's a cozy for you.
oh, there's like the. It's like a. It looks
Here's my cozy.
like a ugly sweater.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's an ugly sweater for drinks, and you can have both of these. I just want to.
We're gonna have to take pictures, and I'll put it because usually what I do with the episodes is I put I use a picture as the graphic. I'll put these up there.
Yeah.
But they're basically ugly Christmas sweaters, but his says nice and mine says naughty.
Mine's red.
Since I'm
mine's green.
the naughty Mormon.
Yeah, well.
Good Mormon.
Don't read into it too much.
Oh, it's because he's white and I'm
Oh, no.
and I'm colored. That's why then. Oh, is it race or religion? Canceled. Which one is it? You got to pick.
Both.
1, 2, 3, go.
Now I gotta use an alias. I can't use my real name now.
Which leads into Joseph Smith owned slaves.
Did he? I don't know if he did.
We semi talked about this last time because I forget what we were talking about, and I just threw it out there because I was like, by the way, I heard Joseph Smith owned slaves.
I don't know if he did. I do know that he had an assistant
black people
that was black,
worked for
but
him.
then he had black people in his congregation, which was kind of unheard of at the time. Mixed race congregations in New York. I don't know. But also, I don't pretend to know anything about history. Hey, guess what?
Well, yeah,
almost every president before 1860 had slaves.
Yeah,
too.
You know who else likes to pretend like they don't remember history? A lot of people in Germany.
I saw this thing recently where this guy was talking to this German girl, and he said, or she said to him, he said, you don't have freedom of speech in Germany. She goes, yes, we do. You're lying. Ooh. And he said, no, you do not have freedom of speech. She goes, yes, we do. And he goes, if I talk against the government, or if I say something racist, I can be thrown into jail. She goes, that's because you shouldn't say things that are racist. But she didn't understand. That's funny.
No, I have a friend. She grew up in Germany. She moved to the States when she's like 24. Her mom's German. Her dad is American, I guess. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she's telling me that's one of the things she said for sure she appreciates about. I mean, she likes everything about America. But
right.
One of the things she was telling me is about people here complaining about their rights or whatever, and she's like, in Germany you can go to jail for like if you say something like people here, you're like, oh, I got canceled. She's like, oh no, people, you like don't go on your social media anymore.
For
like,
no, for 2 weeks
you go to prison. Like people go to jail
yeah
for saying controversial things.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I mean, growing up here, I think especially when you travel outside the U.S. or when you look into different laws and governance outside of the U.S., you really kind of appreciate
for sure
how awesome it is here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to complain about, but also the thing I always go back to is like just the basic freedoms that are written into the Constitution.
Yeah, it's like, oh hey, you're allowed to speak out against the government. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
One of the funniest things too about right now, the people that get most upset about people using free speech are liberals.
I
mean, it happens on both sides, but it's like a lot of the people that get the most angry.
And with a lot of these debates with liberals and conservatives arguing and yelling, I feel like it's always the ones that are extremely right or extremely left that get the voice.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like the rest of us are in the middle and we're just like, no, stop.
Yeah. It's just
and like we're not going to speak out against like our side because we'll be like, well, okay, I'm not that conservative. But then you're like, well, he's got a point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think people should be able to. I mean, we got to be. No one thinks exactly the same way about anything, so I think people should be able to disagree and still get along, or maybe you don't have to get along, but even people can disagree and be friends. But speaking of appreciating your rights from going outside of the country, it's going to lead it back into your foreign mission.
I didn't go foreign.
To Salt Lake City, Utah. That's like another
that
country.
Was a joke. So Utah is kind of the epicenter of Mormonism.
Yeah.
And that's where the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints church headquarters is located. It's in downtown Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say a large percentage, probably about 40 or 50% of people in Utah are either active or registered members of the church. That number is going down over time. But, yeah, I served my 2-year LDS mission in Utah.
Yeah. And the funny part about... So part of the joke, too, is that when we were kids growing up... I said this before in episode 0. We had like 2 episode zeros. But to recap, how we always joked about... You were like, yeah, I'm going to go on a foreign language speaking mission. I'm going to go to, like, I think Italy or Germany would be cool.
I wanted to go
I
to
mean,
Russia
I'll go
too.
anywhere,
Yeah.
but I'll go anywhere as long as it's not in the U.S.
Yep.
You know, maybe, I think you said maybe New York. You said,
Oh,
but
yeah.
definitely anywhere but Utah.
I didn't want to go to California because it's like always summertime there, and I didn't want to wear a suit.
What?
Yeah, it's California. It's like 70 degrees year round.
So you didn't,
Or hot.
so your
I
whole
didn't
reason
want to
for
go
not going there,
because I'd be super uncomfortable the whole time.
you didn't want to wear a suit.
No.
You can
I also
wear
didn't
short
want to
sleeves.
be. Yeah, you can. But I didn't want to be that close to the ocean and not be able to like go swimming.
Oh, go swimming. Oh,
Yeah.
Are
So
elders still not allowed to swim in the
I don't
ocean?
know, but I don't think so because how easy it
drowning
is.
risk.
Yeah, how easy it is to have an
And to see
incident.
people with, because they don't have garment swimsuits.
Not yet.
It could be like
It's
those
not-
like
it's not-
1920s.
yeah, it's not the 1920s
full
with the stripes.
Yeah, they look like
and the
prison
buttons.
uniforms.
Yeah, I love those. So I didn't want to go to California for that reason. I love New York City. I wanted to go, but that was one of the places I really wanted to end up. I really wanted to go to either Russia or Japan because it would have been so different to my experience in the U.S. and the language and the culture and I had heard so many, like I knew this guy who went to Russia and was the head honcho, the main mission.
They're allowed to do church missions in Russia?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, on and off.
It depends on how Putin's
it's
feeling.
crazy. Yeah, it's
Damn
kind of
it.
it's kind of
I said
nutty
that.
over there.
We're
Like
gonna-
it's on and off. But he would tell me about like how they had to go into lockdown a couple of times, and so you're just like, and he said it's frigid, it's cold, and I was like, oh, that'd be. I was interested in it, so I kind of wanted to go to Russia. Thought it'd be cool to come home and speak Russian. I want to go to Japan. I love most things about Japanese culture. I love.
What
care
things
for
do
anime.
you know about Japanese culture? Sushi?
Just so the idea. Well, yeah, their cuisine in general. Their
samurai movies?
no
Pokemon?
their- Pokemon's cool, but no. It's more of along the lines of a culture that's like quiet, respectful, but then also like has this like
Almost took over the world once.
that's what I wanted about them, is to learn how to do that. No, I like the idea of cartoons being so prominent and prevalent and important to a culture that I didn't feel like that in the US. Like
And being able to buy panties in the vending machine.
yeah. No, the vending
That's
machines
real
are awesome.
That's real freedom. But no, I have
vending machines
heard
are
about
so
the actual
cool over
vending
there.
machines. They got pretty
Yeah, there's places that
like full meals.
yeah, like complete storefronts that just have vending machines and the balls are like that big
Yeah.
and full of stuff. And like the idea of they love like cartoons and comic books and all that kind of stuff is important. However, I don't care very much for anime itself. Like I liked Akira, but I couldn't sit through it. It's like one of the more American anime. It's kind of like Blade Runner, but it's anime made in the 80s. You might have seen the poster. It was super
Maybe.
popular over
Probably.
there at least. But anyway,
I was a kid in the 80s, yeah.
I also like how Japanese like sounds and their cuisine. I love
Arigato gozaimasu. Ai!
Yeah. So that's what kind of drew me to that.
Yeah, I know.
Then I got called to Utah, the place that I had visited 1,000 times.
If there was anything to make me believe that God is real, it would be that you had to go on a mission to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah,
That one gets. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute.
and like
Somebody heard him.
I even got
Somebody
called
heard him.
to the area where my grandparents were living.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like it was terrible, or be mad at the fact that I was sent to Utah, because Utah does have its own little quirks. It is kind of like a foreign mission.
Yeah.
I think I met one person that didn't know what the church was my entire 2 years. And that's because they had just moved into these apartments. And he was like, what's that?
I feel like most people in America, like when they hear Utah, they're like, oh, Mormons. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
multiple wives. And
it's one of the only religions that was can be called American religion.
Scientology.
That came later.
L. Ron Hubbard.
That came out. When did Scientology start? 50s, 60s?
Yeah, not that long ago, because he was alive till not that long ago. Or maybe they
the
believe
80s or
he's still
90s?
alive. I don't know.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't met any
Do
Scientologists in
you
real
even
life.
know anyone that is? I don't.
Not in real life. I've just seen that.
I saw him at Springfield Mall once in 2005.
What were they doing? What were they doing?
Doing the tests.
Oh, their
For the,
lie detector test thing?
Yeah, not lie detector. What is it called?
I thought
The Theatins? Oh, man, we're going to sound so stupid.
I don't know.
It's the thing. They're looking for the aliens in your body.
Yeah.
Your
Oh,
count.
yeah.
Your level of...
Your midichlorian count?
your... the amount of force power that you have.
If you're a Jedi or not.
By the way, have you watched Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Are you...
I watched the episode on Friday.
Yeah. Wow.
You got goosebumps or
yeah.
boner? You got a
I don't
boner?
want no spoilers.
Spoiler 3, 2, 1.
I mean, Luke looked terrible. It was so bizarre.
I wonder how Mark Hamill felt about.
He must have done the voice. He must have been involved.
But I'm sure at this point too, he's like, they can't do any worse than the last 2 movies.
Yeah,
so.
or the holiday special.
There was a holiday special.
You haven't seen Star Wars holiday special?
No. Is it bad?
Oh man, I gotta find it and show you. It's
wait, is that old?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Oh.
It came out like a year or 2 after the first Star Wars.
Oh no, I didn't remember.
Or maybe even the same year.
I saw the. Did you ever see the 2 like Ewok movies they made? Yeah, they made 2. It's like the Battle for Endor and something else.
I didn't see any of those. But
when I was a kid, I remember I watched. I liked it, but apparently, I mean, I've read things where it's super terrible. And what I remember of it from when I was a kid, it's probably pretty terrible. But.
Well, what's funny is when I was a kid, I didn't realize how much the Ewoks were hated.
People hate Ewoks?
Well, like the big hardcore fans. Like
really? I always thought they were cool.
The third one. Which one is that? The one that
Return
came out
of
in
the Jedi?
83.
I think Return of the Jedi is the one with the Ewoks.
Yeah, they consider that to be, of the 3, the worst one.
Or is it Empire Strikes Back?
Which, as a kid, I think it's Empire.
It was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved that one.
Yeah.
I watched it 1,000 times. But no, so I don't remember when this came out. It was in the late 70s, I think, or early 80s. But there's a Star Wars holiday special, and Mark Hamill got in a car wreck.
Oh, that happened before Empire Strikes Back, because that's why at the beginning they had him get his face slapped by the wonton or whatever the thing is.
So right before he films this holiday special, he got in a car wreck. So they caked on makeup, and they did not do a very good job. And they don't ever say Christmas because, Jesus doesn't exist in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, wait. So they were having a holiday.
Life Day. And it's I think
did they have did they have a life tree?
Yeah, something like that.
They exchanged Life Day gifts.
It's yes, it was that bad. It's pretty much almost they took the idea of Christmas
and they just replaced
Christmas with life.
There's Control
and
F.
It's Chewie and his family
on Kashyyyk.
Sure.
I mean, it's a planet full of trees. So
did
they decorate them?
I'm like 20% into Star Wars.
Oh,
I like the first 2 movies a lot, and then everything.
I like episodes. What is it? 5 and 6.
Yeah, and the prequel that you and I were 13 when it came out.
Were we
that
really?
We saw in theaters 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that one. Even though watching it now is it's hard.
Painful, yeah.
Which is funny. But
that fight scene at the end though is still pretty good.
So I have 4 boys, and I'll take their lightsabers, because we have every lightsaber imaginable. We have a toy of, and I will tell my Echo Dot to play Duel of Fates, and then we'll just whack the crap out of each other.
Yeah. Also, that song, incredible. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only good part of that.
It was worth it just for that
I like
song.
the pod racing too.
Pod racing.
The sound design for the pod racing, still, like, I love it so much. Hearing those pods go.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah, in theaters that was pretty cool.
As someone who loves, like, animation and sound
But not
design
anime.
and movies, the sound design of Star Wars it's still to this day beyond everything else.
Right?
Yeah. That's just their stuff is just so good. So anyway, but I need to get you a copy of the Star Wars Holiday Special, because you'll hate it.
Great.
Seriously, George Lucas hates it.
If there's something I love, it's hating things.
George Lucas won't allow it to ever be released, like,
because it's so bad.
It's so bad. It aired on NBC or CBS or something once or twice, and then he just pulled the plug on it completely. He wasn't involved with it. I think he just let the rights go for making it.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, it's painful. The one good way to watch it is, the Mystery Science Theater 3000 guys?
Yeah.
They do a commentary track that you can play along with it. You sync it up at the beginning, and then that's good. We might have to do that at some point. But yeah.
So you saw the Scientologist measuring midichlorians at the mall?
Mm-hmm. Springfield Mall.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen about is Leah Remini.
I saw that.
Something like I saw her her Joe Rogan podcast, and then I think I saw some of her stuff where she does, because she's done a bunch of different things where she talks about, like, how crazy it was growing up.
I think in 2015 HBO had a documentary series on it or something, and my dad and I watched it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow. I don't know, man. I don't feel like I have a whole lot to make fun of. Except
that's because the two American religions, I guess, now that we've figured out.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more now, but yes. Like 2 of the biggest. Maybe it's one of the biggest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Ones that got popular here. I mean, technically, I guess what you should really argue is that the LDS Church started in Jerusalem, but
I mean, if you're LDS and you adhere to it, it's more along the lines of the church was restored
in America. Yeah.
In America with like a prophet.
So we're
God called a prophet again.
Nephi and his family, were they like the first immigrants to America?
No, I think the Book of Mormon mentions that there were people here too. But yeah, we don't lay. It gets a little tricky when you start laying claim to historical knowledge. Because it's also like they didn't
anthropology.
Yeah, like they didn't know everything that happened in America before them. And there's also records of people that, before 600 BC is when Lehi and his family went to what we think Central America. But anyway, I digress. I brought something else.
Oh,
so that was part 1, the naughty nice.
More things to distinguish between our spirituality and race, right?
I pull out something super racist.
Pull out your Rorschach mask.
So you told me you're not eating sugar right now, but these things are so bomb.
Oh wow, I've had those before.
Belgian seashells, decadent Belgian chocolate with creamy hazelnut filling, imported from Belgium.
Wow,
and they are.
I'll eat them.
So good. Yeah,
eventually, a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Usually, I would eat them all at once.
Well,
Thanks.
you got that after. Or I got it after or before you told me that you're like, I don't eat sugar. I was like,
well, I mean,
I don't either.
But I've tried.
Yeah, I've really cut back, but I mean it's Christmas.
Yeah,
It's Christmas. Hey,
Life Day.
Hey, H.2. I'm Jimmy Stewart. You could have some sugar. It's fine. Every time a bell rings, H.2. eat some sugar. Huh?
Is that
Come on, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. That's right. I was trying.
Jimmy Stewart.
All I could think of is Nightmare Before Christmas. I was like,
What?
that's not it. What is it really called?
So there you go. Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
You and Littles can
We'll share 'em.
can share them. And then I have one more thing to kind of go over and talk about. We mentioned this last time, but I didn't have it. A Shocking Sensation Sketchbook, 1998. The Washington Irving yearbook.
Wow.
From when we were in 8th grade.
I need to get, I think mine is at my parents' house.
But,
here, let me see. I want to see.
Yeah. I mean,
signed it.
Hold on. Let me, I have a lot of signatures in mine. Let me pull, I got some other goodies from it that I discovered. Yeah, here. So in 8th grade, I got this yearbook, and then I just went through with a red permanent marker and drew over just about every page. Oh, I put my locker number and combination in the front too. I wonder if that locker still has that same combo.
No way. Because they change them every year.
Oh, do they change them every year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that
Otherwise,
makes sense.
people would they would be going back.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So when I got in trouble for stealing TI-83 calculators, one of the moves I would pull is I would stand behind someone and watch them put their combination.
Oh my gosh!
Go back.
Oh my gosh! There was so much more to this than I knew of. I thought you were just swiping them, but like you were like methodically targeting people.
Hey man, when I do something, I do it well. Okay, I go all in.
I didn't realize that you were that nefarious.
Hey man, you've met me. All the things that I do good with my mind, they can obviously be applied to bad. But
word on the street is you've been swiping TI-83 calculators.
Mrs. Dietrich? What was her name?
It's in the yearbook.
Oh. Did you find it?
No, I don't know her name.
But anyway,
Mrs.
I'll tell
Dietrich.
the stories at the end of this. But
yeah. But yeah, that's.
I forgot.
By the way, that yearbook, we were super homophobic.
Oh yeah.
And did not care about using certain words that rhyme with maggot. Maggot.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was a homophobe until like probably a year or two into the Marine Corps, when I like actually met.
That checks
like
out.
there was like gay dudes in my platoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're real people.
But wait a minute,
because before that.
When did you join the Marines?
2007.
So that was still Bush era, right? It was like a year before Obama.
Yeah. It was right before
he became president. 2001.
Yeah, and they didn't repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell until I was like, had I re-enlisted? It was around, I think like 2011 or 2012. So
yeah,
it was
it
right
took
around.
A while.
It was right around, I think, the middle of my Marine Corps. So like the first half, it was still basically elite, or there was like Don't Ask, Don't Tell or whatever.
Right.
It's like you weren't allowed to
keep
be
it to yourself.
Gay, but you were also not allowed to ask people, and they weren't allowed to tell you.
Yeah,
like,
it was such a
it was a
like
loophole.
a way to get around actually doing anything, which I don't know. I don't have any opinion on that.
We had a kid in my boot camp platoon, or he wasn't in my platoon, but he was in our series, and he was trying to get dropped out of boot camp, and what he tried to do was say that he was gay. So then they brought him up, and they had him
like tried to pull a Chuck and Larry.
Yeah,
with Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sort of. Yeah, he wasn't trying to. he wasn't trying to like
It's
gain any rights.
like,
He was
don't
trying
ask
to get
me,
out.
and I won't tell you.
So they're like,
Right.
so they had him like standing in front of the commander or whatever there, and they're like, all right, recruit. So, like, if you're gonna leave here, like you're saying you're gay, like, what do you get? If you weren't here, what would you be doing? He'd be like, I'd be sucking some dick, sir. And this kid, he didn't end up getting kicked out, and he wasn't gay. I remember I saw him at because we graduated boot camp, and then I saw him at combat training. And we're like, oh, hey man, you made it. And he was like, yeah, they didn't buy it.
They didn't buy it. Wow.
But he was like,
I heard people used to swallow cotton in the 70s or 60s, mid 60s, early 70s. When did Nam end? Early 70s?
yeah, late 70s.
Late 70s? It didn't. Was it, how long was that? I guess 69, 68 or something is when we went in. We're not historians, folks. But I heard that they would swallow cotton balls so that they'd show up on the x-ray as being kind of weird. And then they would, which to now thinking about it sounds so stupid.
73 it ended.
Because it would just go down your esophagus and your stomach would digest it. It's not like they would show up in your lungs. It's cotton.
Yeah, maybe back then it worked. And also nowadays,
it just sounds like a urban legend.
Yeah, so there was another thing. So there was one of the bathrooms. I can't remember which one, near the medical, and people would write with pen or marker in there. And there was all these different things like, if you want to get out early, do this. Like, tell them you're gay, or this is how to break your arm, or all this different stuff. And I remember our senior drill instructor told us, he's like, yeah, you can try to take that advice if you want, but the quickest way out of here is to graduate. He's like, it's 70 training days, but it's 3 months. So you can either just suck it up and get done in 3 months, or if you get dropped down to the medical platoon, it's like there's guys that have been here for a year. It's like, it's like the quickest way out, and it's true, the quickest way out is just to fucking graduate.
That's funny.
But
did you have to go through I'm gonna sound stupid. Mustard gas training?
Yeah. So
it was mustard
Everybody
gas?
does gas. Not mustard gas. It's CS.
What's CS? Tear gas?
Yeah, tear gas.
Mustard gas would kill you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
I thought
you wear.
I thought the U.S.
You
government was trying to
your gear, but yeah, it's
mustard gas.
I can't remember what it stands for, but yeah, it's basically
tear gas, right?
Yeah. It's like
just so that you know what
the military
what that
grade. Makes your eyes burn and your lungs, and
does it just suck?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did it correctly, so because like you're in there and there's a part you have to like take off your mask and so that you can simulate if you got the gas and you put it back on and you got to purge and clear and then you can start breathing.
How do you do that? You just breathe out, breathe in real quick.
There's a valve, so you put your mask back on, you make sure it's all tight, and then you hit the purge thing and go. You blow out as much breath as you can, and so it forces everything that was trapped when you put it back on your face, and then you can start breathing.
Would I not be allowed to enlist because of asthma?
There are I don't know what the medical requirements are now. I'm pretty sure there's people. Yeah, people with asthma. So it depends. I mean, when I went in, there was like a surge of they were doing waivers for everything. So my platoon. So when I went in. Because
you went in during a conflict, right? You're considered a veteran of war because you enlisted during years of conflict.
That and I deployed, but
yeah.
But so there's
regardless of your deployment,
there's a thing called
because my dad was a Marine as well, but he was just enlisted during Vietnam, but he never saw any action.
Yeah,
but he's considered a Vietnam veteran.
We call it the pizza stain ribbon. It's the
which I didn't
find
out.
National Defense.
Okay,
yeah. So if it's during a time of war, you get a national defense.
I didn't find out that my dad was actually a Vietnam veteran until like within the last 5-10 years. Because he never talked about, he never treated it as he was a veteran. He never spoke to his time there as if he was a veteran, and I don't think he considers himself a veteran until it comes to like his federal job, where if they try to fire him, they have to fire a non-veteran first. I think that's the only way he would ever bring that up.
Right. No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, he's still a veteran.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a difference between, because I guess because is Afghanistan considered officially done now? Did Trump say he ended it?
Trump's trying to pull everyone out.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually did or not.
I don't think, because I wonder if people are getting that national defense ribbons now.
Likely, yeah. I think we're still technically
because it counts as an act of conflict if we're at war, but
yeah.
But either way, yeah, our the yearbook is homophobic. All right.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we were 13. we would. Oh, I got a funny story about that too, because we would call each other gay as an insult.
Yeah.
So back in the early days of the internet, I think we talked about this in episode 0. There's Juno. Do you remember Juno? Did you ever have Juno?
No, we had American Online.
Oh, that's right. Your parents cared. I begged my parents to let us get America Online.
Yeah.
I begged. Would not do it. I remember when AOL opened up Instant Messenger for anyone. It was one of the most exciting days of my life. And we used to chat a ton.
That's when LOL was invented. And that's why still to this day, if a dude texts me LOL, it annoys me.
Yeah, I thought it was stupid back then too.
The way, I remember it was first on AOL Instant Messenger. People would say LOL, but it was always, it was 13-year-old girls that always like LOL. Like, are you laughing? Are you really laughing out loud right now?
That's one of those things that just didn't go away either.
Yeah. So when I see it in a text now, I imagine that girl Jillian going LOL. Oh
my gosh. LOL.
Ethan's so cute. LOL.
This poor girl, she was hideous. Is that wrong to say? Am I a terrible human being?
It's your opinion. I'm sure it's considered some kind of body shaming, but
sure.
Hey, it's your opinion.
Well, I mean, there are beautiful women in this world, and there are ugly women in this world.
It has nothing to do with her value as a person.
No,
just how much she don't want to look.
She was
at
a
her.
rat human being too. She told me her mother had cancer to make me feel bad for her, and her mom didn't.
What?
Yes.
That's
you
a true
didn't
story?
know this?
No.
The end of 8th grade. She told me that her mother had cancer, and I felt really bad. I felt genuinely bad for. She was hitting on me the entire school year, and I just was not reciprocating because I had more interesting
other places to point your penis.
No, not necessarily. I wasn't doing any of that. But
I'm sure you pointed your penis, but you didn't.
Not willingly.
You didn't poke it into things.
I guess first period in the morning. But by the afternoon, I was all right.
Oh, did you ever in seminary get a boner and then get asked to say, or at church and get asked to say the prayer? And because you have to stand up to say the prayer.
Yeah,
that happened to me one time.
Do you remember? Were you in that gym class where the kid got a boner and he couldn't get rid of it?
No.
Oh my gosh, it was so.
Maybe, but I don't remember it.
You don't remember? I'll have to find it.
I used to get them all the time, but I would tuck it up.
Yeah, like any
band.
half intelligent person would tuck it,
But when it happened at church, I didn't have time because she just called on me on the spot. My seminary teacher, it was like, "Hey, H2Kibo, say the closing prayer."
Yeah.
So it would have been really obvious if I adjusted.
Right.
So I tried to hold my Book of Mormon in my lap and stand up, and she's like, "You gotta fold your arms." So then
she did not. Really? You had what?
So then I said in my
was this when you were in North Carolina?
Yeah, this is the seminary teacher that I wanted to kill. Like that, I had plans. I was like, "All right, we were gonna push her down the stairs, or not push her, but do you know those?"
Well, you got to start out with small animals, HJ. You can't work. Your way
this is
up.
way past small animals. But you know how those people used to do the insurance fraud thing, where it would be like a setup of 2 cars, and one would go in front of a car so that they had to slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
And then the other car would rear end them. Mm-hmm. So we were gonna do that with her, but our seminary room was on the 2nd floor. So we were going to do that, but so she fall down the stairs, and she's old, so maybe she'll break her hip or something,
Like,
Diggle.
Did she? Well, obviously you didn't do it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but she did ask you to fold your arms when it was mildly evident that you were trying to hide your.
I don't know if it was obvious that I was trying to hold a kind of
my
boner,
gosh.
but she just thought I was being disobedient, which is,
Well, people say prayers like that.
She was like, "No, you have to."
Wow.
I was like,
So is that where it started? Where you're like, I'm done with this church?
No. I made a good effort all the way through. Well, I guess I didn't make that great of an effort if I got sent home early from my mission, but I did make an effort. Especially on my mission, I was like, this sounds weird. Like trying, like I really wanted to believe that it was true.
Mm-hmm.
But it was sometime after I came home that I was, no. This is the time when I realized it. When I came back and I was doing like odd jobs. I was living with my parents and I was doing odd jobs for our bishop. And like he like moved houses. I helped him move his house. Like I literally helped move his family like room by room, like like drawers of clothing, like moved everything to their new house. And he was like building a pool in his backyard and I was like doing landscaping type stuff and like moving rocks and shit. So he was like liked me. And then there came a point when I was like, I feel like I'm just pretending. And so I just want to be like honest. I feel like everywhere I'm going, like when I'm at church, I'm always like living like kind of like just trying to, like it felt dishonest because I was like, I don't feel these things. And there's there's things that it's like I watch R-rated movies and I curse and stuff like that. I think at that point too, after I came back, I think I started having sex with this chick.
I'm glad you.
Oh, I definitely did when I was in North Carolina. So this was before
Right.
So I was definitely banging chicks in North Carolina.
Before or after the mission?
After. So like when I came home, then I definitely because I had like 2 girlfriends
At the same
Or, like-
time?
No.
Okay. I like how you had to pause and think about that.
I was trying to think if there's overlap, but
I've never had overlap, by the way. That's just.
Well,
Anyway,
too for
continue.
me too at the time too was like because I was just learning. I just learned what sex was, and I was like, I had just transitioned from the you only have sex when you're married to the like so I only have sex if I have a girlfriend, and then after that transition to like I just have sex.
Right.
So yeah, North Carolina's hooking up, and then when I moved to Texas, I don't know if I had.
Why did you move to Texas? Because your parents moved there?
Well, they were already living there. So I guess damn, my timeline's all. Oh no, because this is right. Yeah,
Was it 2004 you came home?
Yeah, like 4 or 5. So I got sent home for my mission for secret combinations for being a Gadianton robber, and
No one's gonna understand that reference, but continue. I got it.
it's basically in the Book of Mormon. It's basically like a gang of.
Kind of a mafia.
Yeah, it was like
gang.
a mafia
or a Illuminati type thing.
Yeah, it was like mafia Illuminati. Like they had secret codes, and they would steal money and infiltrate government positions and all this bad stuff. And they like took over through. They called it secret combinations. And because I didn't snitch on some of my mission companions who did have girlfriends, and so I didn't snitch on them. And then our mission president was like, he was like, so Elder, what you're telling me, it sounds like you're involved with secret combinations.
Wow.
Like,
I mean, if you want to put it that way.
Sure.
I'm just,
Yeah. Okay.
snitches get stitches.
I was just like,
So,
I just thought I wasn't telling on them. And
right.
But if you
I
want,
mean, you technically weren't, but okay.
yeah, I guess. But I was also like, because he was like, how did you guys decide? All right, so for more context, I guess we ended up taking over like the whole zone because I ended up at towards the end of it. My companion was the zone leader, and funny actually,
Wait, your companion was the zone leader.
Yeah.
Both. So your mission was different than ours.
What do you mean?
Because both of the companions were zone leaders.
Oh,
mission.
really?
Yeah.
No. For us,
District leader was one or the other, but zone leaders were both. for us.
Maybe it was no.
And then the APs, which were both APs.
The APs were they the office elders? I don't know.
I don't
For
know.
us, I think
It might have been totally different.
I think maybe it was different just because how
maybe
big
I'm
it was
just
'cause of the
misremembering.
Philippines.
I feel like zone leaders were always in twos.
Yeah, no, I think we
For
only
us.
had one. We had like a zone leader and then a junior companion.
I made district leader once, and it was terrible. I hated it because I just don't like the leadership option. But it was me, and then my companion was not a district leader. But zone leaders were both zone leaders.
I don't know. I have to go back and look, but I think so. I guess he's
might just
either
be
a
set
zone
up
leader or
different.
district leader. But either way, we took over the whole zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess it kind of was like Gadians and Robbers because we did maneuver it where
Now that I think about it, it totally was secret combinations
we
and Gadian.
somehow we were able to maneuver it where we knew like who the cool elders were, and we got the houses to like we were able to maneuver it where the companionships worked out to like the cool people were with the cool people.
So did they yeah, so they put the cool people with the cool people, so to speak. And they could manipulate what the companionships were.
Yeah, somehow we were able to.
Okay, so that's your mission's first mistake is allowing anyone but the president and APs to do.
Well, and I don't know how it exactly it got. Well, I think it was less of us moving the companionships around and more of us kind of being able to identify who was cool, and then if their companion wasn't, figuring out the conversation to have with them that would make them either cool with it or turn their head the other way, I guess. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe we were Gadian and robbers. But we weren't murdering anybody.
It's very
or stealing
secret
money.
Combinations. I mean, we were mocking it a second ago, but now that I think about it. Did you have any tells?
Now you're glad.
Did you have a tell?
What is it? You know, it's so funny. The mission president asked the same thing. He was
Yeah.
like, did you have?
Because there's a tell.
Did you have?
Sometimes they have tells, like where they would wear rubber bands on one hand, and that would be the tell.
That would be such a. I would punch someone in the face for that.
Well, I mean,
That's
that was
such
the
a
rumor that
that's something that you good elders.
No, that was something that literally happened in my mission.
Oh, really?
Before I got there.
Oh, I think you told me they would wear like the.
They would wear rubber bands
What
on
was
their
that
left
guy?
hand.
The guy that with one nut that rode bicycles. Armstrong.
Yeah.
The Armstrong.
No.
bands
So those Armstrong bands got super popular when I was on my mission. I had one, but that wasn't the tell.
Because you were in.
Yeah. Maybe that's why everyone was inviting me to play Nintendo. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
But, oh yeah, so it'd be things like that because then we would do.
I guarantee though,
go to members' houses and watch movies.
On my mission, I guarantee that most people thought I was someone that didn't follow the rules. But quite honestly, I was fairly close to the rules the entire time, except for maybe like once or twice when I was having a really bad time, I would listen to the radio. And to anyone who's outside, that sounds totally innocent, but as a missionary, you're not supposed to listen to modern rock. I did.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I listened to modern rock. Weezer's Beverly Hills came out. I hated that song so much because it doesn't sound like a Weezer song that I loved by Weezer, but it sounded just like some garbage. And
Beverly Hills.
Such a garbage song. And so I heard that and I was like, and the other one I heard, so I hated that song and I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And then the other song that I listened to a lot, because we had mini disc players, and I had one companion buddy of mine that I'm still friends with today, and he had a mini disc player and he recorded off of the radio, and it was a Nine Inch Nails song that was really good.
Oh man, I forgot
Will
about
you
that.
bite the hand that feeds you? And I was like, oh, this song's good. That was probably the worst of what I did on my mission. I was generally,
yeah, that's entry level for us.
During my mission.
That's how we're like, we might be able to get that.
Yeah. And I had people who thought I was like a rule breaker, and I was like, no, not for me. My whole idea during the mission was, this is only 2 years. I might as well just give it my all, and if I give it my all, I'll get something out of it.
Oh,
So you and I had the opposite.
Yeah, look. So this is the other thing people used to say: if you serve a good mission, then you come back and you get a hot wife.
Yeah,
and you did.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not going to toot my own horn.
To say, but I gotta tell you. Oh yeah, I gotta admit this. I gotta get this off my chest.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to my dad like a year or two ago, and I told him that we got together and I met your new family. Like 3 kids ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before you had like
5
kids.
I moved here with 2, and we have 4 now. So let's not be too crazy. I have 4, which
I'm
is
just joking. I was trying to make it
way too many
joke
for me.
that you have so many children, which is cool. My dream is to have as many kids as I can take care of. I always wanted to be a dad, but never wanted to be a
definitely can't
husband,
take care of all 4 that I have now.
Well,
In fact,
they're all still
2
alive,
of them are up for sale, but
Oh.
eBay took them down because you're not allowed to sell humans.
I'll take them off your hands one day, I guess. But oh yeah, let me get this off my chest. So my dad, so he's asking like about like how you're doing. He's like, oh, where's his wife from? This and that. And I was like, oh yeah, she's something. Yeah, his wife's pretty. Blah blah blah. And he gave me this look when I said his wife is pretty, like he was like shocked and offended, like I said I like made out with your wife or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that a weird thing to say? I was like, so after that, then I felt guilt. I was like, maybe that's like, what's the word? Like, not chauvinist or misogynistic or something to like refer to somebody's wife
maybe
as attractive or like
I don't know.
pretty. Like
I'm
I was
not
kind of
offended
saying
by
like
it.
an innocent, like.
I think that's a generational thing, maybe. Your dad's also a super straight-laced person.
Yeah. So that's the other part. But
I'm not.
I did feel guilty when he said it, so I had to like get off my chest.
Oh well, okay.
I'd be like,
apology accepted.
okay,
Thanks for
cool.
calling my wife attractive.
Her welcome. But yeah. So you were good on your mission. So you came back. You got a hot Mormon wife.
Well, I know some elders that were great on
and
their
I
mission.
wasn't. So
And they married some real dogs. So that's definitely not the case. It's, I mean,
are they Mormon dogs?
I could show you, and you would be disgusted. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna disprove your theory, Adam Savage on MythBusters. Hold on.
There are some,
Now, definitely don't say their name.
or maybe their wives went on a mission and their wives were really good missionaries, so they came back and got a hot husband.
I'm not going to, on camera. I'm not going to say anything. Hold on. But this guy was super straight laced, right?
Oh,
my
I don't know
gosh.
why that's so funny to me, but it gets me in my giggles.
Okay, ready?
Deep in my giggles, right next to my
This
nuts.
is gonna crack you up.
Somebody I know?
No, you don't know this person.
Well, they're both not that great.
Yeah, but I mean, he was
Dalen,
a good missionary.
she looks like he did good for himself. Looking at him, he's definitely punching above his weight in more than one way. But he did good.
I'm a horrible human being.
He did
but
good for himself.
let me just, okay, all right, you got me there. Maybe that's good for him, but I definitely don't think that that's the case.
Like she's doing God's work, charity, marrying that.
Like
guy.
you've known me for a while. When have I ever tried to pursue a girl that was not of a certain standard?
Oh, never.
Like if I dated Jill, you said it earlier, so I think I can say it now.
There's a lot of Jillians.
Yeah,
in the
there's
world.
a billion Jillians,
I mean,
but not as. Let's just hope that Jill doesn't ever come across this. But
yeah, I don't know why she would,
but yeah, so that's kind of like my thing.
hot girls. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I only would date who I'm attracted to, so we can go on.
I'm glad that I came into this,
it's not like
this
you-
part of the conversation worried that I was a bad person, but you completely washed that one away. So, thank you.
No. I am also a terrible human being.
Oh,
man.
whew.
Who? Allison, in 8th grade. She might be in there.
What?
We went. One of the funniest things, and to this day I still crack up, is we went to an 8th grade. We went to an 8th grade play,
Oh yeah, the girl that
You remember
I was
this.
dating.
You
yeah,
were
yeah,
dating a girl at the time. I think her name was Allison.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't want to say last names.
Yeah.
And
She played soccer. I was like, damn.
she played soccer.
Woo!
She was
'Cause I
she
played-
was she was attractive.
Yeah.
She was an attractive
Beautiful
girl.
blue eyes.
Yeah.
Crystal clear blue eyeballs.
Yeah, yeah. She was a good looking girl, and she reciprocated the feelings, and so you two were dating,
Mm-hmm.
and you dragged me to a play that she was in. Was she Wendy?
She was.
in Peter
She was
Pan?
Wendy in Peter Pan.
And it turns out to be one of the best moments of my life is you and I dying of laughter because there was this kid named Billy. We're going to have to cut because I got to pee.
Well, you go pee. Well, I guess we'll come back to the story. I just want to talk more about how much body shaming that Ethan does. It's really go to an app.
Don't you have some ad?
An ad? Oh yeah. Well, I guess it's not an ad, but I'll continue. I always talk about Apothecary. Check it out. My buddy, his girlfriend, I think, his female partner. I don't know. I think she's like a kind of a hippie, so I don't know if they go by those labels. But you know, they have sex with each other, whatever you call that. And she has a company, small business, where she makes tinctures. And I've been getting them. So I've been getting the ZZZ something, and I take it because I have trouble sleeping. I take melatonin anyways. I take stuff because I have restless leg syndrome. So I have issues with falling asleep. I've had, insomnia and fucking sleep apnea or whatever. I gotta wear the mask. Real sexy like Vader when I'm sleeping. But anyways, yeah. So I take the sleep tincture, and then also there's I think it's like Calm, Cool, Collected one. Calm, Cool. Yeah, that's why it says CCC on the bottle. But I take that one too. It's nice. I take that one a couple hours before bedtime. After I get done working, because it takes me a while to wind down and kind of chill out. But yeah, go ahead, check them out. It's Apothecary, APOTHECALLIE.com. And get and so I also, when I talked to him about sleep, I was like, yeah, man, if you can make like a lucid dreaming type potion, that would be cool. So they've done that, and whenever they get that out, they're supposed to send it to me to give it out, and I'll say how that goes, because I like having dreams.
Do you know what I heard about lucid dreaming is to teach yourself how to do it is walk around with a piece of paper in your pocket that says, "Are you dreaming?" And like you do this in reality,
real life?
in reality,
Or when you're awake.
every now and then you pull it out, you look at it, "Are you dreaming?" And you like look up and think about it. No, I'm not. If you do this enough in your sleep, you'll do it, and over time you realize, yes, I am dreaming, and then you can start to control stuff. That's what I've read. I've never managed to.
You want to hear a weird thing?
What?
So, in my dream, I've been working on doing lucid dreaming a lot for a while, and for some reason, there'll be points when I'm able to realize when I do recognize that I'm dreaming. I'll start to take control of my dream, but then it only lasts for a little bit, and then I'll wake up.
Yeah.
And then, because a lot of the times I try to have sex because I'm like, oh shit, I'm in control of this dream. Boom.
Boom.
I'm gonna imagine a chick that Ethan would think is hot, because then you know she's hot. And then, and it only like I get into
that
it.
might be what's holding you back, is you're like, I'm gonna imagine chick that only Ethan would think is hot, and you think about me.
Dude, that's a joke.
And that just wrecks it.
Like,
I don't know. It's
better
just
wake
worth,
up.
It's worth considering. Maybe don't think about me.
No, I literally have never done that, or thought about you in
I
my
get
dream.
it. Yeah, it's a bit.
I don't ever think about you ever. I fucking hate
Well,
you.
you will now.
No, yeah. What if I do it, but then I don't wake up, and then you appear?
And I'm like, I'm in there and I have to watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop. And you're like, no, it's working.
Judge me, Ethan. Judge me.
No. I don't want to judge you. And I'm like, here, and I hand you that coaster. All right.
Oh, but so we go to this play.
Yeah. Do you remember the play? Do you remember anything about it?
Yeah, I have.
Do you remember the intro to the play?
I don't remember the intro.
You don't remember the intro? Okay.
I remember thinking I wanted to fight the kid that played Peter Pan because he kisses her or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that. He gives her the symbol.
Yeah,
so this little bitch.
Well, this guy's name was Billy.
Billy the bitch.
Do you remember Billy? You don't remember Billy?
Not at all.
He was an interesting dude. He at the beginning of the play, they introduced Billy and someone else introduced the play. They come out with swords and they're talking about how the swords are fake. So don't worry. They were like, we're play fight. When we do a sword fight, we're playing. And then they started trying to do a bit where they were doing an actual sword fight and they were actually angry at each other, but they couldn't pull off the severity and like the speed of which you have to fight to make it seem like you're actually fighting.
Right.
And so it just came off as being really awkward and forced. And you and I were dying. You and I were dying laughing at this idea that he thought this, hey, do you know it'd be a good idea? We both go out there with swords.
First of all, we're going to tell everyone it's fake.
We're going to talk about how it's fake. And then we're going to go into an actual fight. Like we're going to fight like it's a real fight.
Oh,
but they couldn't pull it off.
And they tried to fake like, it
you
got
and
away
I
from
thought
us.
that was the funniest thing ever. You were so excited and laughing so hard. You took out a Kodak point and shoot camera,
the disposable cameras,
and you took a picture of it.
I have those pictures somewhere, and they're so bad. You can see like little blue dot.
Do you remember the funniest thing you wrote? Like this is like SNL quality.
I don't remember.
In my book, this is SNL quality humor.
Oh, let's hear it.
On the back of the photo, you gave me a couple of the copies because when you go get film processed in 1998. You get 2 copies of each photo. And on the back of the photos, you wrote, here's a high-quality photo of Allison's high-quality play. And it's like the most garbage, out-of-focus, underexposed photograph ever. Oh, it's so funny.
So it's, I can't even describe how terrible.
I mean, it was 1998. It was 8th graders.
Disposable cameras are.
Yeah, and they were just super grainy.
So there's no zoom.
We weren't sitting front row.
We were probably closer to the back than we were to the front. So it was like,
but we were dying when Billy did that sword thing, and that was probably the best part of the entire play.
It would have looked better if I drew stick figures. It would have it would have been more.
You have done stick figure drawings and animations that were better than that. Do you remember when you used to do the was it TA-84?
TI-83.
I had an 82. You had the 83.
83s. That was high speed. That was
and
the
that
fucking
was
Cadillac.
and used to
Those are the ones that I would steal and sell. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but
maybe that's why you never stole mine because it was an 82.
Because I got in trouble. Yeah, that too. Nobody wanted to buy a fucking 82.
My parents, I think they saved like $10 or $20 and got an 82.
Yeah,
and I remember being so bitter about it because there's features that you couldn't go from 82 to 83. Like,
because 83 could get cool games.
Yes. 82s had some games, but they couldn't have all of them. Something about the transfer cables didn't work. I don't remember.
Yep.
I remember it being a huge pain trying to get video games on the 82.
Yep.
I think what happened later is 9th or 10th, I got an 83. I used to play Tetris on that every day.
Oh, yeah.
I would kill to have that again just to play Tetris on it.
I remember Drug Wars was like the big...
Drug Wars was awesome.
Is that an RPG? Is that what you call it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was... Yeah, but it was... maybe? Because it was all text-based.
Because it's all... it's like a
maybe
story.
text-based
but you can,
RPG?
So it's like you can travel to different
get
towns.
Money. You
and then you buy...
gamble.
Yeah, you buy drugs
cocaine,
for one price at a certain town, and then you can go to another one. But you can buy weapons, too.
Yeah.
And then if you fight someone, it's... Because it's like a turn-based thing with the computer. Because it's like, oh, you have... So I don't know if that's called an RPG or not, but...
Sure.
It was pretty high-tech.
I mean, for 1998 on a school calculator, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was also NBA playoffs.
Oh, dunk. There was dunk contest.
Was it dunk contest?
Yeah,
you could be Dennis Rodman. And it said what hair color.
Different kinds of dunks.
Yeah. You could pick what hair color Dennis Rodman was. Now, keep in mind, these were all stick figures. They all looked
Yeah.
identical, and there wasn't even color screens.
Yeah, it was black and white, pixels.
Yeah, but
yeah, NBA Jams. I think. Yeah, it was like dunk contest.
I used to hide mathematical equations.
Oh, there's also
inside the
you could
file.
do crib sheets, and there was a thing because the teachers would come around during the test and see that you cleared your memory. But there were programs where you could program it so that it popped up and it said memory has been cleared. So your teacher looks at it and they think it's not in there, but you still have your crib sheets.
That's right. I had that too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had the a squared minus b squared equals c squared, and what's the one with like a squared square root of a over x, whatever the
pi r squared.
Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, Pythagorean pi r squared. No, that's triangles.
No,
Pythagoras.
that's the radius.
Yeah.
Or the circumference.
This is how much you use fucking algebra.
I haven't used it since I graduated
Never.
college in 2012 or whatever. But those things were so great. No wonder you stole them.
I sold them. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I did steal.
What'd you do with the money? Didn't your parents like see that you had like a wad of cash? Well, how much were you selling these things for?
I probably stole and sold probably less than 5. Like 5 to.
Okay, you got caught.
Yeah, probably 5
early in your criminal career.
Yeah, early in my career. So.
How long was this?
I was
over a
selling
week
for like
or
$20 too. So.
$20?
Yep.
That's a steal.
It's literally a steal, yeah, because they were like $100.
Yeah.
And then
why didn't you ever comp me one? Here, Ethan. Were you worried that I'd tell?
I don't remember. Yeah, because you have the nice sweater and I have the naughty sweater. No, I don't remember. Because I can't remember. Because I didn't really get that many of them. It was less than 5, I think. So.
This was like a week or two.
And then I got
over the course of a week or two.
on by this one kid.
Did you sell them back to the kids you stole them from?
No, I don't think so. And then it might have only been like 2 or 3 that I actually successfully. Because I think I got snitched on by that kid pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like it was when I was in 8th grade. He was a 7th grader. And
8th grade was a funny time.
Yeah.
So also
steal stuff from shop class all the time.
Also in my yearbook, I have a bunch of photographs. So the last day of school, or like the last week of school, I had a disposable camera, and I went around taking photos. Great photos, by the way, of people. Look how much of a dork I was. Like, this is just. So I had a bowl cut that was combed straight down the middle that I thought looked cool, but I was very wrong about that. And I used to wear these t-shirts that were too big for me. And here I am wearing I don't even know what this is, Mountain Silver Spring, Michigan shirt. Like, why would I even be wearing that? It's just terrible.
I remember I used to wear Star Wars shirts and people made fun of me.
Yeah.
You said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We did make fun of you.
But then, like, here's one of the girls that I was.
Oh,
pursuing.
Liz? Is that?
No, that's not Liz.
No.
This is Jessica.
Oh.
But her and I, like, didn't really.
What does it say? Let me see the back.
It says extreme close up, and then it has her full name.
Oh, yeah. I kind of remember her, I think. She's like one of the cool preppy kids or whatever.
Yeah. But, like, I think we were flirtatious, but it was like the last month of school, so nothing happened. And then I was like, maybe I should try to go to West Springfield. I think she wrote in my yearbook, if I was going to West Springfield, maybe something would happen. I don't know. It's 8th grade. You're what? 14, 13? How old are you in 8th grade? This is when Jill took a picture of me. And I think I was just like kind of upset that she did because and she gave me this too. I guess we were 15 in 8th grade. Because this says June 98 and this girl's 15. That's Jill was trying to.
They were in
Jill was trying to get me to date her at the end of the school year.
Why does it say rectal? Oh,
recital.
That's
Wishful
it's
thinking.
like rectal. Interesting. Do you mean anal? No, yeah, they were.
Remember that girl? I don't know her name.
They were in
She was
their little dance troupe thing.
She was kind of stupid, but she was cute.
Oh yeah. I think so.
Looking back as a 37-year-old on 8th grade, it's just kind of a weird time for people. I can't imagine being in 8th grade this day and age with Instagram and Snapchat and all that crap, social media, because we were barely on the computer with our classmates. We had AOL, AIM, but
AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, but we didn't. It was nowhere near the severity of.
No, yeah, because your parents knew when you were on the computer and when you were on the internet.
Yeah, because they try to get on the phone and you hear.
Yeah,
and then you can't make phone calls. Get off the internet. Yeah. Oh man, my parents would get on the phone and just kill my connection.
Yeah, I think my parents ended up getting 2 lines. They'd have the one for the modem and
your parents were rich.
Well, I don't know about that, but because my dad was going to grad school too, so he needed it. And there was a couple times where
I didn't know that
the internet got kicked off when he was trying to do work or something. But,
I see. Yeah.
So it was like a problem, I guess. So
I remember one of the coolest things about going over to your house was using the internet, and you also had. You had a DVD player before anybody did
on my PC.
On your PC, and we watched Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, yeah.
That was awesome.
Mila Jovovich, full frontal. I was like,
is she in that movie?
Yeah. She's Leeloo Dallas. Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, but you don't see everything, do you?
Yeah, you do.
It's PG-13.
You might even see Bush in that.
No.
I think you do. There's a flash of Bush, but you definitely see her topless twice.
No.
Yeah, when they're at the
sure?
very beginning in the first.
Hold up. I'm Googling it.
I know for sure, dude, because I remember one time we were watching it and my dad was doing work behind us and I was like trying to fast forward past it and you were like, no, leave it. And I was like, my dad's right behind us. And you're like, no, leave it. And I was like so afraid we were going to get in trouble.
I don't recall that.
Because at that time, my parents convinced me that we were going to go to hell if you had impure thoughts.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's your parents being wrong or you being wrong about what your parents thought.
No, that's what they told us. If you have impure thoughts, that you're not going to be worthy to go for whatever blessings.
All right.
But yeah.
I don't think it's rated R, though.
No, it's PG-13.
But you said there's full nudity in it?
Well, I mean, you see her top when they recreate her body after the crash. You see her. She's laying down. She's naked.
I'll take your word for it because you had it
on
DVD.
For sure. I've watched that movie. There was a period I used to watch that movie every night before I went to bed.
Well, I guess
it's one of my favorite movies.
Titanic had full frontal and it was PG-13.
Yeah. I think there's some instances where it's allowed. You know what I heard about how they come up with the ratings? It was like
it's totally arbitrary.
Yeah, they have like 3. There was like a Catholic priest, a Protestant priest, and somebody else, and like they decide.
No, I thought it wasn't even. We don't even know who it is, but it's comprised of.
I think originally it started out as something like that. Yeah, and then they decided they're like, all right, you can say fuck once, and it's okay, but if you say fuck more than one time, then it's R. That's like, and I'm like, isn't the cat kind of out of the bag at that point? Like, if you're trying to keep kids from hearing that word, they're like, oh. They only heard it once. They're not going to repeat it or something. Yeah, but that's why some movies they make fun of.
The MPAA is
that joke.
It's a terrible and weird organization with completely arbitrary rating systems, and the standards change.
Yep.
I've
some PG movies from back in the day, like nowadays, I'm like, ooh.
Well, yeah, but that's because PG-13 didn't exist.
Oh yeah.
So PG-13 didn't exist until '89, I want to say. I think it was Gremlins that actually made them come up with the PG-13 label, because that movie's a little rough for kids.
I had nightmares from that one.
Beetlejuice has the F word and it's PG.
I think he only says it once.
Yeah, he says it once. Like, nice effing model.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
It's PG.
Yeah. Good movie too.
And then the face melt in Indiana Jones.
That made it PG-13.
That was one of the other things that pushed them into making the PG-13 label. Because it was so gratuitous
graphic
and
or something, yeah.
But I watched it as a kid. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was frightening.
Yeah, I think I would close my eyes on that part when I was a kid. You know what that part wasn't worse than?
What?
All of Indiana Jones 4.
Was Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf.
Talk about Shia
I like
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf, but
You like him?
I did it.
Are you
It was so
up to date with him?
I heard there was something.
FKA Twigs?
What? K.A. Twigs?
FKA Twigs. She's a... I don't know what exactly she
FKA
is.
Twigs?
She only got on my radar because she was in an Apple commercial directed by Spike Jonze. It's one of the most amazing commercials
he abused
ever.
her or something?
Yeah, well, she said that he was in an abusive relationship.
Oh,
But
I heard someone.
I don't know all the details, but one of it was like he
knows?
made me go to bed naked. And I was like, well, that just sounds like he's more of a jerk than... I guess it might be abusive.
I don't know. Who
I don't
knows?
get to decide that.
Because one, it's not even like secondhand knowledge. You know what I mean? It's like, who knows? I don't know. I'm only looking at him from
artistic standpoint.
Yeah, from yeah. And
he's
I did
terrible
not
in that movie though.
I didn't mind him. What I didn't as Wiki or whatever and Transformers, I thought he was good.
That movie,
Holes, the movie Holes.
Good.
Even Stevens, but
Did you watch Even Stevens? I never did.
I saw a couple episodes. I thought the sister was hot.
That was after my parents.
It was
got
when
rid
I
of
was.
cable.
Yeah, I only saw it because when I went to my mom's house in the summer, my little sister watched it, and I think they were like either my age or just a little bit younger than me, or maybe she was older than me. I don't know, but I thought the sister on there was hot. I remember thinking that. But so anyways, the thing I didn't like the Indiana Jones was the fucking when he was Tarzaning through the trees to like catch up to the Jeep. I was like, who allowed this? Does fucking Steven Spielberg know about this? What the fuck?
Yeah, man. And they're doing Harrison Ford signed on for a fifth one.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. But Temple of Doom is my favorite for sure.
Out of all of them.
Yeah.
Of course, it's iconic.
Well, I wanted to say some more bad stuff about Mormon things, but
sorry I didn't give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get it all off your chest now. Just have one big long rant.
Oh man, I would yeah. Oh my seminary teacher that I wanted to die, and I think she's dead now. So,
you got her.
Yeah, gosh, I showed her. I showed that little bitch.
Basic outliving of someone who was really old.
Yeah, she was like in her 70s when I was in high school, so she's for sure dead now. But she's the one that I told you, like, so like her granddaughter told me that she had told her that people of different races aren't supposed to mix because it says that in the Bible. This was our seminary teacher, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I've never read and never once read that. I was like, I feel like that's just something they say at home, because they were like, this was in North Carolina, so they're like old Southerners.
There's, it's so difficult to pull actual theology from what just people's opinions are.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like
I don't like colored people. So
yeah, I'm just gonna make this up.
It feels like it
sounds right.
Yeah. Feels like it should be.
I feel like this should be a rule, but I don't know, man. I don't have those answers. But if God,
is masturbation illegal?
If God, sure. If God wanted the whole idea of racism coming from a white upper middle class, middle class. I don't know what I am. I guess I'm up middle. Anywhere else in this country, I'd be upper middle class, but I'm living in Northern Virginia, so I guess I'm
poor, yeah.
Middle class. But
we're peasants.
coming from
basically.
that standpoint, just logically speaking, God created everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and He created different races.
Yeah.
So why would He think one race is superior over another?
I think some people's argument is that just like animals were put on Earth to serve humans, they feel like that there's some races that God favors and favors them to
I think that's just ridiculousness.
his word to and be like, oh well, they're heathens or uncivilized savages that God sent us to teach His ways.
I think that's very.
That
sounds
that
very
was like the conquistador, European.
narrow-minded, and we're civilized and you're not. Like, who's to say you are and they aren't?
They are, and God is, obviously.
Right. But like, let's think of like
it works in their favor, so they're like, yes, of course.
The billions of people that just whatever. And as a logical, like, someone that thinks this way, I just can't look on a race and say like unequivocally that everybody in that race is this type of person. It's just a silly argument in general. And mankind has been guilty of making that
except for the
argument
French.
So long.
The French.
Hey man, there's
are you French or something?
Partly, yeah.
What kind? How partly?
My foot.
how long ago was someone French in your family?
My grandmother was
born in France.
No. Sorry, my grandfather is like
born
50%.
In France. Was he born in France?
His grandfather was.
Does he speak French?
No.
He's not French.
Does he smell?
Yeah.
Does he drink wine and eat cheese?
No, but so that's another kind of, I guess, weird thing. Like a lot of people that claim culture, maybe. Well, I guess it works for all races, but in America, it's huge for white people to be like, "Well, I'm actually Irish," and they're like, "Oh, so you live in Ireland?" No. My great grandfather immigrated here from Ireland. It's like, have you ever been to Ireland? No. Do you know anyone that lives in Ireland? No.
Other than having a Guinness occasionally.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I celebrate fucking St. Patrick's Day because I'm Irish. Okay. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, so you can have like, I've always felt that stuff is interesting, but it doesn't feel like it's part of my identity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess maybe that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like how much, like claiming an identity. I'm like, how much of it is incorporated into your daily life.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess for me too.
But just immediately, upon immediate thought, it's like, well, look at if this race, if you're gonna, first of all, sequester an entire race of people in your mind as being subpar,
like subhuman. Yeah,
it's like
Untermensch.
Then that would mean like no one who's Indian would ever be a doctor because they're subhuman. But it's like, but if you look
like
at
all of them,
if you look at Indians, like I feel like more of them are doctors.
Engineer.
Yeah, like one of the smartest, inventions of the last 15 years has been this guy who's Indian came up with a way to test for malaria.
Dot Indian, not feather Indian.
Right. It's on YouTube. This guy who came up with a way to test for malaria using less than $1 worth of parts. Just genius level stuff. And like that's what he wanted to do. He was like, the problem is people don't know they have it beforehand, so they can test blood using this and this, and these are like less than $1 to manufacture and ship. And so the problem is you don't have centrifuges. Well, he had a toy that you pull apart with 2 strings and it spins.
That's one of my favorite words, centrifugal.
He found that he could use this toy as a centrifuge. A minute or two of just spinning this blood would separate the plasma, and you could see if the blood tested positive or negative for malaria. Just based on that, with like a little piece of glass, you could see it. And it's just things like that. You're like, oh my gosh, that is so genius on so many levels. Not to sit there and be like, look how good I am of a human being.
Oh,
But it's just such a silly argument to make, and I've always kind of felt like that.
well,
too.
see the thing is you're trying to like reason with unreasonable people.
Very true.
So being, I guess, being racist is, and I think everyone is kind of guilty of it on some degree and some level.
Of
We
course.
all are.
Yeah.
But it's just it's all based on kind of ignorance of other people, or an ignorance of wanting to learn about or take the time, not be. There's this term I like, be a cognitive miser, and like do the work to actually try to recognize other people as humans, and like if our positions were switched. But so a funny thing, I'm gonna tell you about a funny racist thing. And I know you're thinking, aren't they all?
Yeah.
But so this, when I was working in a government place, there was a person that was an attorney.
Do I know that you worked at this government place? Was this a while ago?
No. This, I'm not gonna say anything.
I know you're not.
specific.
I'm trying to say it without saying it.
No, not that place.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So, but this person, they were an attorney, and they had previously worked at some university, and they worked in whatever office for accepting people's applications. And this person, they didn't know that I was overhearing this, but they were talking to other people that were of a similar complexion to them, and they were talking about how they're like, yeah, so sometimes, when I would get applications of Indian people, it's like, and you just know. And one of the people are like, what do you mean? Does it, because it smells like curry? And they're like, yeah, well, not specifically curry, but it was like a smell. And this person was like, yeah, every time I would smell that, I would know it was an Indian person, and I would take their application and put it on the bottom of the pile. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they do smell like curry. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Filipinos smell like rice, but
dude, like you go to an Indian restaurant and it smells delicious. Curry is delicious.
Just think about that.
But
this is a person that works in the government.
That sucks. Well, that person's an a-hole.
They're also an attorney, and they were working at a university, and there was like applications for, I don't remember if it was applications to get into school in general or applications to get the selection
scholarship.
Yeah, like scholarship program. Yeah. I think that's might have been what the thing was. So
Yeah,
this person was in charge of like going through it. So this person works for the government. They are an attorney, and then they're also in this position. And I guarantee you that they're probably like, no, I'm not a racist. Like they're like, no, I'm not racist. But they still thought it was like okay to be like, yeah, when I smell an Indian person, I put their thing on the bottom because it's offending my senses, kind of thing. Or there's something, this person has such little value. Like, oh, obviously they're dirty if I can smell them. They don't deserve to be considered for a scholarship.
What if it was just the person who was delivering it spilled curry?
What if it was
on
like,
the application?
What if they ate Indian food for lunch and then and they're just
was in a bag with some Indian food?
Yeah, they're like, oh no. But yeah. So it's a funny thing too when I talk to some people, they're like, no man, like racism is kind of, it's not as bad as people try to say. People just like to complain. Or like, well, I mean, I've had a lot of experience in my life where I know it's not true.
Right.
And the people that talk to me, they're like, oh, that's terrible that happened. But they still are like, I think in general, people kind of talk up the racism thing because they're either lazy or they want to make an excuse.
Their race is lazy.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Because all of them, they're just,
just lazy.
those people, they just complain,
No.
They're real naggers, But
it's convoluted.
Yeah.
I don't pretend to know if racism.
Oh,
is
my whole
huge
point
in
of saying
America
that
or
was
not.
to say that Mormons are racist. So.
Well, I was about to
I'm
say
just
something
joking.
really racist. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I'm just joking.
But, dude, I mean, look, you're either going to treat people with respect or you're going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
And jerks generally like to pigeonhole.
Yeah.
Because they're simple minds.
Yeah.
It's easier to treat people as a jerk. It requires
that's
little
what I'm
to
saying,
no
being a cognitive
empathy.
miser. Yeah. It's easier.
Yeah.
It takes less time. And you
it's
always get to be right.
It's super easy. Yeah, you're always right in your mind. You're always right.
Like, no, I don't need to change. They need to change.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's that type of person.
Yeah.
It's those people. You know, like it's that mindset.
I can't do anything about how much they
It's
suck.
also a very like that person just needs to get out, you know? Go out of your comfort zone. Eat food that you have no idea where it came from. Or if it could be a cat or
date
not.
people you're not physically attracted to.
No, I'm not doing that. That'd be stupid. That'd be so dumb.
No,
what
that's
a
for
terrible
peasants.
idea.
That's for peasants.
That's for the desperate.
I was a good missionary. I don't need to do that shit.
No. That's just stupid. Because then you're going to hate them. You're going to resent
Just
it
gonna
later.
look at them and be like, ugh. You're so intellectually fulfilling, but disgusting to look at.
Yeah. But
be smart enough to be better looking. Ugh.
no, like get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
Maybe I really think travel helps broaden the mind.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Seeing different like when I went to the UK. So I've been out of country 3 times. Mexico, Canada, barely, and
Those are both
the
still
UK.
like kind of America.
Out of the United States. And Mexico was really eye-opening because of the poverty versus just like the really touristy areas.
Have you been to Tijuana?
No.
Me neither.
That twist and wink that you just gave me
What?
was really
I was blinking. One eye.
like, who's gonna judge you for going to Tijuana?
I've never been to Tijuana.
I know you haven't, but I went to Bajío, and just the way that things are set up. It's so weird driving down there and seeing like Home Depot. You're like, what? And like seeing shacks.
Yeah.
It was such a weird contrast, and
yeah.
the like the amount of poor and poverty stricken, and like the homeless, and the little kids trying to sell you chiclets. And just seeing that, but then also seeing like the vibrant culture.
It's like the Philippines, yeah.
It's so it was just kind of crazy, but it's one of those things that broadens your perspective. When I went to the UK, I thought I'd always grown up thinking the UK is like a lap of luxury.
Just castles everywhere.
Not necessarily that, but like I watched a lot of British TV as a kid, so I always had like such a high standard of what the British are and who they are and their standard of living. And I got there and I stayed in like Kensington, which is supposedly one of the nicest areas in England. And like
what's
within
that close to?
Walking distance of Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace. You watched The Crown?
Which I guess walking distance to the White House isn't necessarily a good view of what that area is like either. But anyway, just going over there and realizing like some of the things that are seen as like really nice just weren't as nice as just standard living in the US. Like I was like, wait a minute. Like we have it so good in the US. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mary, we are spoiled,
like even sure. I would venture to say that even most of the people that are considered poverty stricken and poor in the US live nicer than most of the world. Have better living conditions than most of the world.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on that. I don't know.
Well, going out. It's an hour and a half.
Okay. Well,
you want to talk about this stuff then?
Sure.
You cut it off.
Crack it open.
I guess we'll transition.
Yeah.
I got what I needed out of you.
So. Well, good. So,
I don't know how well
I don't know who's listening to this, but we're going to put it out there.
Yeah.
And
there's going to be some kind of transition in between now and then whatever we say.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Do you have a sign off?
Fuck you later.
Wow.
I don't know.
That'll be your merch.
I ramble. Oh, I remember this kid. These are the Koreans. I'm looking at our yearbook. But I remember I saw these kids fighting after school. They were doing taekwondo against each other.
I saw that fight with John.
Yeah.
Do you remember when John picked on that kid that was super quiet?
Yeah.
And it was straight up like they kicked each other?
Yeah, they're doing
it was the most amazing fight I had ever seen.
Taekwondo. Taekwondo.
Do you want to do this on mic? Is this episode 2?
Oh, no, yeah, I guess we don't need to because nobody can see this shit, so.
Yeah, it'd be kind of... Well, I mean...
Let me describe...
I feel like it could be one of those things where it's still fun because everyone has a similar experience and similar stories. But it's up to you. We can do this off or on mic. I don't care. It's only 9:40.
I think this was my soccer team.
I believe it was.
Because we had these jerseys that looked like camouflage. That we were called the...
I remember that jersey. Was it green and it was like a tie-dye green?
It was like tie-dye brown.
Yeah, I remember when you used to wear that all the time.
We were the Special Forces was the name that we picked.
No way.
Yeah. And then it sounded like as soon as one of the moms was like, go Special Forces. And then we were all like, oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
What a bad name.
Special. You like the cozies?
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, perfect.
We'll have to take some pictures
Perfect.
after so we can
yeah.
put them so I can put them on there.
I thought that'd be funny. A funny bit.
I laughed. I did laugh.
The candle was nice. Is that real? Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it was my niece's.
scented?
She was doing a fundraiser for a school, so it's like a birch flake. I got it for the holiday season.
Does it smell?
Yeah, it smells like. Can't tell.
Maybe
Smells
I
like
have the COVID. I can't smell it.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I got COVID tested like 2 days ago.
Did you pass?
Nope. And I didn't tell you.
Merry Christmas.
No, yeah, you're welcome. Antibodies. No, it's negative.
I think I had COVID in January because I got sick.
I did too, and I thought I did, but
I never.
No
well,
antibodies.
so here's the thing: I got sick, and I couldn't go up or down the stairs without getting super winded, and I used up. I took my inhaler like
That's
5 or 6 times a day.
Shape.
No, it wasn't. Well, I mean, I was out of shape, but like
in January, I got winded walking
when I
up
got
the stairs
sick,
too.
and I had never gotten the flu or a cold that had knocked the wind out of me like that did.
Oh, really?
And now I still feel like my lung capacity isn't where it used to be.
Mm.
But I didn't think to test for antibodies until September. And I was negative on it, but that's because you can lose the antibodies 3 to 5 months after. I think I had it. And one of my friends did have it. He lost his sense of smell and taste. I never did, though.
Mm.
I don't know. I think I may have, but I'm not sure. But
oh, yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Are you going to get the vaccine?
No.
No? Don't trust it? Are you an anti-vaxxer?
No, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I just don't. So I've been getting things from the VA that they're like, this is how we'll distribute it to the veterans. And I was like, what? They're going to give medical care to the veterans first? That's suspicious.
No, they're not. The healthcare workers got it first.
Well, I mean,
first we sent it to Haiti, made sure it was okay, and the British actually got it first. And then the first batch of them. I have a buddy who's a doctor in Idaho. He got it.
Oh,
so the first batch of them are going to healthcare workers.
I don't trust it.
You don't trust it?
Nope.
I feel like it's. I mean, if it does kill us, it's going to kill most of us.
Conspiracy to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Pfizer.
Yeah, there's some money grab.
I think I will get it.
A money grab for somebody.
It's not going to be a year from now that I'll get it. I'll probably get it sooner than that. But I just want to get it just so we can return to normal.
Yeah.
Because 70% of the population has to get it in order for us to have herd immunity.
Has to get the vaccine?
Yeah, that's what they're estimating.
Wow. Well, that's lucky
and that's
for
not going to happen.
Huh?
Well, they're not the only ones. Moderna just got approved.
It's lucky for big pharma, huh?
I mean, big pharma.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you try to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
What do you know about QAnon?
I don't know.
It's conspiracy theories. Someone once told me it's hard to convince.
Look how ashy I am.
What?
So look how ashy my legs are.
You
You
know,
get
I
ashy?
almost got you.
Do you get ash? No, I have lotion.
No, I don't get ashy.
I have lotion right there next to the
I'm
computer.
a
Look
white
at it.
dude. Yeah, well, I figured that was for something else. You did ask me about masturbation earlier. So I figured, oh, well. No, I don't get ashy. My skin gets dry, but
If anyone's wondering, yeah, I do
I don't
jerk
get
off.
ashy. Well, who?
It's called maintenance. Remember that kid? I can't remember at school. I can't remember his name was. And you told him.
Yes, Julius.
Yeah, you told him like not to jerk off or something. He's
No,
like,
no, yeah.
I got to maintain.
Yeah. I don't remember who. I didn't say this to him, but someone was like talking like, "You jerk off, Julius?" And he was like, "I got to maintain." Oh my gosh, terrible. I don't get ashy. I get dry, and like my fingers will crack. Like
That's what being ashy is when your
is it?
skin gets dry.
Okay, well I guess.
But
I don't get.
on my mocha
It's
skin,
not as apparent because
yeah.
I'm
See,
pale.
you can kind of tell, but
Oh really? Okay. Well, I was never.
But
told
you
to
just
call
can't-
it
yeah.
ashy.
it's because you're white. So
I was never schooled correctly in the terms of.
I bet you
my
don't have cocoa butter at your house either. So
No, we have aloe vera.
Mm.
That's the white cocoa butter.
that's the cocoa butter. That's the cocoa butter of the whites.
We should really have a podcast where we just discuss race
I mean,
and make racist jokes. We cannot attach our names to this. I'm pretty sure I'd be fired in a heartbeat.
you know, I was thinking about it earlier. The most racist people in the world are Asian people because in Asia.
What a thing to say.
No, listen,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
in
yeah.
Asia, every Asian people thinks that other Asian people. Oh, so how we're talking about how like God made certain people different levels in
Right.
Asia, people like rank each other. Like Koreans, super racist,
Really?
super racist.
It's just it's culturally acceptable over there.
yeah, because they're just like, oh, it's like Korea is number one, and then
Right, of course, wherever you're from is number one, no matter
and then
what race
under yeah. It's funny how that works.
you are. Yeah, well,
No one
it's called
was like,
racism.
yeah, ethnocentrism.
Yeah.
No one in their country is like, damn, too
My
bad.
country's
Too
the
bad we were
best.
born number two, guys.
This is why we're the best.
Yeah.
Well, no one wants to be number two.
Yeah, no one's volunteering for that one. It's like this is why we're.
Even the people like, I don't know.
But yeah. So Asians are the most super racist. Ooh, excuse me. You know they have skin whitening soap in the Philippines,
Yeah, I've heard about that.
and
My wife tried to tell me about that as a form of white privilege. And I went, that's not white privilege. That's not a sign of white privilege. That's a cultural fad. That's not going to last.
no, it's from. Well, what it comes from is from like back in the day because the people that had money and lived inside, people that worked in the fields had darker skin because they're outside working.
Yeah,
all the
because,
time.
okay, they
So
have
if you have
tans.
lighter skin, it means that you were inside. You had more money.
Right.
So people, I guess it continues.
Yeah, so it's
'cause
cultural.
People still, even they carry umbrellas.
But now today in America, it's the opposite. If you're tan, you're rich.
Sorta, yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
Like we'll look at Orange Man. He gets that fake tan.
Yeah, I guess. But then I guess because it changes too, it's like, oh, I can afford to go on vacation
Right.
and be on the beach or
It's
be
cultural.
be in
That has
the
nothing
sun.
to do with white privilege.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just-
and also it's not really white privilege in the Philippines because nobody's white. Except, you want to hear a funny thing?
Yeah.
People do. So the way that people describe, because they're not like, oh, light skin or dark skin.
Mhm.
They're like, you're either itim or puti. You're either black or white skin. So like me, they're like, oh, itim, black skin.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is lighter skin than me, then they're puti to them. They're puti and I'm itim.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they're brown, to them they say, "Oh, I have white skin. You have black skin."
So in America, they'd be considered black, but over there, they're.
Well, I guess when they, I don't know, I don't know. Maybe their
I feel
brains
like you
will
have to
explode.
pull out a color chart.
Then there's probably like a color wheel. They're like, okay, let me see here. Which kind of you person are you? Yeah, you're a black person. Yeah.
So is there a class association with people of different?
Oh yeah. They love white people.
Why?
So I don't know, because
Free blankets.
Maybe. No, that was the Native Americans.
I know, but I'm sure we did that to other people too.
No, no, by the time America got to the Philippines, it was like World War. So, so the word
It took that long for us to get there?
No, for America, like the Europeans, Spain got there.
Like colonies?
Spain got there first, and they colonized the Philippines because the conquistadors, and that's why most of the country is Catholic. The top half of the country is Catholic.
Right. But so Filipino was a local. Wait a minute. So
Philippines is a chain of islands.
Right.
And there were like people that looked like Malaysians, kind of like little brown people.
But they mixed with
Spain. Yeah.
The Spaniards.
So that's why like there's so many Filipino so that's another thing that they do that's racist.
What would give someone away as Filipino versus Viet?
They look like me. I
Viet
don't know.
Cong. I always kind of thought you might be more Tongan.
Well, that's because I'm mixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because I met a guy who was Tongan on my mission. He was a spitting image of you. It was
yeah,
so
on
weird.
my mission, the Polynesian people thought I was
They all thought
Tongan.
you were Poly.
Yeah, it's like I blended in there. It's the only time I blended in.
Have you ever
anywhere.
wanted to visit Tonga? Or?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I got a couple homeboys that they live in Hawaii or they're from Hawaii, but
some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Oh yeah,
American Samoan.
Yeah,
and like their food is so good.
Yep.
They had these cleared noodles.
They're beasts at fucking.
They're huge.
Volleyball.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I did not.
I've learned that.
I did not know that
at the MTC. I tried to play. During gym time. I tried to play volleyball. Me and one of my roommates, this short white kid, and we got into the rotation, and the fucking Samoan dudes were just like flying in the air. Yeah. And I was just
because
like,
they have beaches.
And then they looked at me and they're like, "Oh hey bro, did you get to spike it yet?" And I was like, I'm not gonna play anymore. But they were fucking just bombing it. It was fucking cool to see. But I was like, I'm not on.
Those
I'm
are
not
the people I never
wanted
wanted to get on the bad side of. Is like some of the because they're just built like ox. They are the biggest.
They're fucking warrior people.
Yeah, like the movie Moana.
Yeah,
like their standard character design in Moana. I was like, that's like spot on to some of the guys that I knew on my mission.
I also found out that I guess Tonga ruled over Samoa for a while.
They
were telling me so they have beef, but they were telling me that so the Tongans they would make the Samoan dudes climb coconut trees upside down for fun. They'd be like, "Hey, go climb that tree," and they would have to do it upside down.
Recently,
I don't know about recent, but because there was one dude he would climb the tree and get coconuts for us. And he'd be in his fucking missionary outfit. He would just take off his shoes and roll up his pant legs and then jump on the tree and go. I have a picture of him up in the top of the tree. He just goes and just climbs right up there. And then he pulls out the coconuts. And then he comes down and to open it, he peels part of the husk with his teeth.
What?
Yeah.
We used to have a guy that would take the tops of sodas and just get his teeth in there and unhinge the top.
Like a soda can?
Yeah. He'd unhinge the top and make it into like a cup just with his teeth. It was wild.
People would freak out when I'd open a can with my teeth. When
it was a terrible idea.
Pop it like that.
Did you ever have part of your tooth fall out because of it?
No.
When I was on my mission, because I used this tooth to open things like plastic things, the tip of it fell off one morning.
Oh.
I had to go to a dentist, and they just put filler in. But it was the freakiest thing that had ever happened to me to that point.
I'll say that's a thing we take for granted, too. In America, we get so much dental work. And then another, like in the Philippines, I've seen tons of kids that have born with cleft palate. So they never fix it. Because like in America, it's like every hospital, if you're born with that, then they fix it
right away. And it's like what, $500 or $600? It's not even a very expensive.
I have no idea.
Operation.
I feel like they just do it, and then it's just like no. We'd rather do this than look at your face in America. But in the Philippines, there's so many kids they're talking to just drooling because their mouth isn't all the way formed. One time I saw this kid. I was telling Lily this when I always try to tell her how spoiled she is. I tell her stuff about the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
So we went into this house. But it's like a little hut.
Do you still keep in touch with anyone in the Philippines?
Not in a while.
Yeah.
Just because it's such a hassle because I have to, like, for work, report it or whatever. But also, I don't.
If you have contact with a foreign,
Yeah, you have to, like.
you have to report it.
Yeah.
So you can't have friends over.
No, you can,
but you just have to.
It's just a pain in the ass, and I'd rather not go through the trouble to talk to my family, So I haven't. When I deployed, I saw them. Like I have some family in.
Is it your mom's parents or something?
Well, they're dead, but my mom.
Like your mom's brothers and sisters, and
Yeah. So like my aunties and uncles and cousins are over there.
Oh, that's wild.
But also, the last time when I talked to them, it ended up like one of my uncles used to always ask for money for his church because he's like a priest or a preacher or some shit. And he was like just always asking for money. And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. I can't talk to you because of work. So I was like, well, sorry. So
how much paperwork would you have to file?
Like, it's literally one piece of paper. It's just
you just have to give I called them.
Yeah, I just have to say, hey,
we talked this long.
No, well, because it's like if you have close and continuing relationship, it's just, it's literally it's just like this is their name, this is like their contact info, this is why I know them, and then I give it to them, and then they decide that way they can invest, be like, oh, is this person a threat or whatever kind of like whatever, like what is the relationship?
Do you have a security clearance, an active one right now?
Maybe. Yeah.
What do you mean maybe? You're allowed to say whether or not you have an active security clearance.
Yeah. But
I always, growing up in this area, we always knew when someone was lying about being FBI or CIA, like one of the kids, because I always felt like, listen, man,
yeah, so
if your dad actually worked for the FBI or CIA, you wouldn't even know about it. Or if they had a job that mandated secrecy.
Actually, the funny thing is, you're supposed to tell. You're not supposed to lie about it. Like if you have a clearance or whatever, like you're not because unless in your job it's specific, but that's like a very small people. People that are doing undercover shit. But if you're just like a regular person that works for the government and you have a clearance, you're not supposed to.
I would
lie
love to
about
have a
it,
security clearance just because it's job
pain
security.
in the ass, but
yeah, but it's still job security in this area.
I guess.
Even during a bad recession, you're gonna have a job if you have a security clearance.
True. Yeah.
So that's kind of why I think I work with one other designer that has it, and she got it working with me at the same office. And she had to get it because of a certain client. I've had to sign NDAs and go through trainings and stuff just to work on some stuff for clients, but never had to get a security clearance, which I'm kind of want to get. But I don't think there's much. How do you have to maintain them? Like once you get them?
Like I can't remember what number of years they redo your investigation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they do like a whole.
You have to pay for that, or you?
No. They pay for it, whoever you're working for. But it's a pain in the ass because it's like a.
So if your work lapses on it, then that's it. You don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, because you can have a lapse. It's just it's a more difficult process because it's a fucking, like when you first do it and you fill out, because I got when I went into the Marine Corps, and it was a fucking, because it's like you have to list everywhere you lived for the last 7 years, all the people you knew, like someone that can verify for each address, every job that you had. Like it's a pain in the ass.
Huh.
I mean, I guess it's worth it, but one day maybe I'll never have to do it. So, but yeah, I guess I'm just spoiled. So complaining, it's a first world problem for sure. Yeah.
Hey. First world problems are the best problems to have.
Yeah. If I'm going to have a problem.
If you're going to have a problem, make sure it's a first world problem.
Oh, but that's what I was saying. So about the Philippines, because I told Lily about, I was trying to scare her with, you spoiled little baby. But I walked in.
You hear seagulls.
Oh, yeah. I heard the white noise thing.
Hoo-ha with the Willie?
So I walked into this house and, we're sit down and we're talking, and then I turn and I look because there's this lady sitting on because it's all like one room, sitting on the bed, and I look and there's and I just see like eyes, like laying on the bed, like I see eyes looking at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I see it's like a little child, but they're like kind of like a little body, like I don't even know how old they were, but they're like little shriveled kind of body, and above the top of their eyes, their head, it looks like the Mars Attacks aliens' heads.
No way.
Yeah. It's like a big, like a bulb.
She had some disease.
Yeah, it's something, I can't remember what they said it is, but it happens a lot where their kids are born with either it's like an infection in their head, so it causes like liquid in their skull or something like that. So then it's just like this big, so it's too much. Like she couldn't move because her head's so huge. So she just lays in the bed and can just like look around with her eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sucks. And I like, yeah.
That's terrible.
So like seeing stuff like that, and then so that's also why I hate littering. When I see people litter, because in the Philippines, people is like, there's garbage on the ground. I mean, depending on where you go, over 90% of the country is below poverty level, and like not American poverty, like real poverty. And so what people like they just throw their like I've lived in places where it's there's a river, and there was so much garbage that it extends the edge of the land because there's so much garbage, and there's a squatter village. It's on top of the garbage that's compacted on the water, and when you walk over it, you can feel the ground shifting underneath you. But people have there's all these houses built on it because there's just so many, just like I don't know, millions of tons of garbage.
It's a literal landfill.
It's a literal landfill, and it has extended into the river. It's the Malabon River. When I was there, it was like in the top 3 dirtiest rivers in the world. But yeah, it was crazy because you walking across it, you feel it just like shifting. Like you can feel like, oh no, what if you fell through there, you're gone. But there's just so much people that built their houses. There's a whole like town, squatter village on top of it. But that's why I hate littering. Yeah, so when I come to America, I saw people like I saw somebody litter. I'm just like, you piece of shit. I want to litter you into a fucking grave. But yep. So don't litter. Yeah. And then also when I came back, people were like complaining about stuff in America, and I was like, go live in another country.
Well, that's another thing too. Is like if you hate it so much, or you're so upset with something that's technically not an issue, get out, go look at how the rest of the world lives. And then come back and tell me you don't love this country.
I don't have our family. We only have one car for our whole family. Like, fuck
oh my
you!
Gosh, that is not. Yeah,
get out of here.
That is not a. Yeah.
I can't believe we have to share. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. Yeah, sounds terrible.
The only reason we have 2 TVs in our house is because one of them was given to us for free, and it's like a flat screen LCD TV, like 1080p. It's nice, but I literally got it for free because this country is so over the brim wealthy that like people are giving away televisions. Plus this area too, like people get rid of the nicest stuff in this area. Like most of our furniture was give outs. Like our kids' bunk bed was free. We have dressers that we found in an abandoned home that was about to be demolished, and the HOA was like, the HOA lady like took people through it to have them pick out stuff. Oh. So we got some furniture that way. We got a huge bag of Duplos curbside near my parents' house. A huge bag of Lego Duplos. Oh, like gotcha. A massive bag that these people were throwing out. And we got that, and my kids still play with it. It's like the best toy ever. It's just the overabundance of wealth in this country is just mind-boggling, and it's unprecedented too. Like I don't know for a fact, but I don't think there's another country that it just has this much like wealth.
Yeah, another thing that's crazy too is like how much wealth there is, but how there are the pockets of like there's like third world poverty in America too.
Yeah, which
it's like how do we have so much stuff, but then there's people that are also like fucking super poor. And I know that then you get into like people like, oh, we can't give handouts.
I can't explain it because
I
it's
feel
not
like there's got to be a way to like even it. Like I don't know.
I don't necessarily think that redistributing it is the answer. I think
right.
The answer is maybe teach better personal finances.
I think there's a thing
basic elementary school, like teach kids, hey, like we have this issue as a country with talking about how much you make. It's like, but why? The only person that benefits is employers because they can pay one person way less than they pay another. It's like we should have general idea of how much everyone makes. And like also just let's teach
personal finances.
Let's teach like, hey, this is what advertising does. This is what they're targeting. This is how they get you to buy things. Yeah. Teach that. That's a basic principle that kids should be aware of.
You know who that doesn't benefit? The corporations
that own the politicians.
Yeah. So they're not going to put that money into like, because it's like you've got to have a worker class. And if you educate your worker class too well about that kind of thing, then they know how to avoid.
But here's the thing: there's always going to be people with low IQs that just want to do a 9-to-5 for the rest of their life and don't care about. It's always going to be that way.
This is for the dummies.
Yeah, like no, there's going to be people that naturally don't care about being the wealthiest person on the block.
Right.
And those are the people that are content with whatever they have, and that's going to be present. I mean, I'm pretty content with what I have. I want to get more into like an idea of creative freedom over something I'm doing and turn that into a side hustle that maybe could eventually turn into a full-time job. Yeah. That's like my desire. Like when I'm at work and I sit there thinking about what could I do to blow up on YouTube or a podcast, like that tells me something. That tells me that I would much rather put my time and effort towards that than when I'm doing it at my job. My job is facilitating a lot of time to me, though, to learn how to do interesting and cool things, which is why I'm sticking with it. Plus, it's like every year it gets harder and harder to just get off that teat because the health benefits are great and the bonus and the salary. But then I hear about people making like $100,000 on one video on Facebook video, which because it's untapped. Like people are making Facebook videos. It's not nearly as big as YouTube, but it's getting like old school YouTube money before they start banning advertising on certain things. So it's like little things like that where it's just like, I would much rather be doing something I enjoy, like filming and editing or even animation and getting paid gross amounts of money and somehow working that out, then clock in, clock out. But
agreed.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have all the answers.
What? What a fucking
I also am not a qualified person for most hot button issues.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm
also
qualified on anything.
I'm naturally apathetic. I'm like the Mormon nihilist.
The like, Mormon analyst?
Ethan, look at this. I'm like, look at what this is. This person hates us or something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, you said Mormon nihilist?
This person hates Mormons. All right.
Nah.
What am I gonna do about it?
Yeah.
My dad told me, he's like, your grandfather was very much a nihilist. I was like, oh, that's where I get this from. Yeah. Hey man, you just got to be a good person day to day. Do good. And
do good, be good.
Hopefully it'll come back to you, Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't, don't cry about it. But yeah, I don't even know if this counts as a second pod.
Yeah, where were we when we said we were going to do that cut?
Hour and 40?
No.
It was 9:40, and it's 10:13 now.
Oh, jeebus. Well, we can cut it.
All right.
My brain's shutting down anyways.
Yeah. The quality is going to start sinking. The quality will start sinking if we don't cut.
Get lower.
But, yeah, man.
Well, thanks.
Hey, no problem.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I always end with just, yeah, that's it. Fuck you later.
And then just have an outro.
We did it.